Welcome to Max Says Voice of Purpose video. You may have heard me say which is more powerful, someone with $1 billion or 1 billion people with the dollar. Today, Max wants to focus on the billion people. Have you ever felt there was nothing you can do to change anything, so why bother? Do you believe that politicians are self, not public serving? Do you think big business and lobbyists control politics? Do you see the only choice in government is capitalism or socialism? If your answer to any or all of these questions is yes, then sit back and relax. Change is coming. The voice of purpose starts with you. I'm going to begin by telling you a little secret about the rich and powerful. It is something that has allowed the few to control the many. 3 words really sum it up. Divide and conquer. The method empowers rulers to control subjects, populations, or factions of different interests who collectively might be able to oppose their rule. Rulers have practiced this method for centuries. Robber barons of the Industrial Revolution used slavery and union busting to accumulate vast wealth and political clout. It is used today in politics to make sure that nothing changes, because politicians can't come together to agree on anything. Republicans and Democrats are so divisive in their speech and actions that the many in all of us is left throwing our hands in the air, feeling it is what it is, with no change in sight. Today we can all agree the pandemic is affecting our lives. People are suffering medically, emotionally, and financially. Trillions of taxpayer dollars are being minted, but there is no agreement on how to distribute the needed funds. Corporate and disaster capitalism will win out, just like we have seen in the housing bubble or during hurricane relief efforts. Billions, no trillions of dollars are going to be given to corporations to keep the economy going. The few corporations will control the many employees using taxpayer money to enrich their corporate shareholders. Employees go back to work is best for the economy, yet somehow this trickle-down effect has made our lives a struggle. The few corporate shareholders smile. Indeed, handouts to corporations seem to get the economy moving. With member capitalism, the employees now smile because consumer spending produces long-term savings. There is now a way to take taxpayer money given to the few corporations and truly benefit the many people. No, I am not a socialist. I'm a social economist. I want you to know how money is created and what provides money its value. It is you, the people, willing to work for and spend what you are given. It is the consumer that brings power to any economy, not government or corporations. Over this past generation, can many of us say trickle-down economics, putting wealth at the top and letting it flow down to the people, has made our lives any better? Who do we honestly think that corporations serve, the customer or the shareholder? If your answer is the shareholder, do you think it's time for a change? Do you think our economy would be better off with a system of capitalism that rewards the consumer, providing wealth to the many as well as the few in a trickle-up economic model? Member capitalism does not replace corporations or shareholders. It needs corporations to produce goods and services. It adds incentive for working harder and participating more. It does not replace banks, it just uses them differently. In fact, member capitalism just changes where the profits go when you buy products and services. Well, that's not totally true. It changes a few more things. Change is the main reason for this video. I'm offering you a roadmap to your new purpose-driven lifestyle. I want to change how and why you buy things, of course, providing you a long-term savings plan. More importantly, I want to instill in each member the civic responsibility of voting and paying taxes. I want member capitalism to be a voice of purpose. As consumers, I want to create a political platform based upon supporting politicians who practice member capitalism. Placing member capitalism in politics is a simple process. It begins with this membership campaign or Founders Challenge. We need to get others to shop Small Street Applied Marketplace, becoming believers in the fact that our financial futures need not be tied to the success or failures of corporations and the jobs they provide. We need to build a workforce of freelancers or gig economy workers whose lifestyle fits our on-demand workforce, allowing members to determine a work-life balance. Uber and Lyft are great examples of this approach. We can all learn to work without bosses provided the proper tools for success, like using consumer spending to allocate profits to participating members. Yes, it is a global enterprise concept that can gather consumers as voters, committing to develop member capitalists and the politicians who support them. Opposition to practicing member capitalism will be met at the polls during elections. The outcome of the election will determine the truth about how people feel capitalism should work. This type of political reform could take years to develop. The number of Facebook members didn't happen overnight. Imagine, though, if we could get all Facebook members to become member capitalists. It might not take so many years. Facebook did all the hard work. Perhaps when the Founders Challenge ends on New Year's Eve 2030, we won't have the same number of members as Facebook. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Take the step. I have no doubt that the benefits of member capitalism far outweigh the damage to the status quo in corporate economics and politics. I also know that change is not possible unless we work together to do something different. We need each of you to become the voice of purpose by becoming member capitalists. Shop online at the Small Street Applied Marketplace and vote. I want to take a few moments to clarify a few things. I am not a political anarchist who wants to destroy the world. There is no plan to rid the wealthy of their fortunes. Not a chance do I expect government to pay for something as important as healthcare. With something like healthcare, do any of us really want a government to manage it? I am the furthest thing from a socialist. I strongly believe that you should work for what you get in life. But I am also a realist. The game of capitalism has been stacked against the consumer and in control of corporations for way too long. I want to quickly address what I am saying by providing you an example that tears at my heart. It's happening right now. Disaster capitalism is what we are experiencing today with the pandemic that is affecting all of our lives. Billions, no trillions of dollars are being created to end the suffering. New York, California, and other states are in a bidding war to get the much-needed medical supplies. States having to pay 15 times the market price just to have an opportunity to serve their COVID-19 patients. Price gouging on ventilators, x-ray machines, masks, the entire list of products is disaster capitalism. Supply and demand, be damned. State and federal tax dollars being plundered by corporations with shareholders that profit off the misery of the people. Disaster capitalism has to go, be replaced by member capitalism. No longer can we sit back and watch stock markets tumble, robbing us of our retirement money. Workers being furloughed while corporations stand in line outside banks waiting for theirs. Banks making billions on giving away taxpayer money. We can change this. Let's form a purpose party with our consumer resources. When disaster strikes, we commit to buying more products and services, dedicating those profits to those truly in need at cost. Money should not be made from those who are suffering. Let's do this. As mentioned throughout this series, 40% of all group profits go into an individual group account. During disaster relief campaigns, we commit to sending this group profit from purchases to those in need. We can decide to put our hard-earned money to work helping others without relying on governments or corporations. That is the beauty of member capitalism. I have certainly ranted enough. I want to end this by emphasizing that apathy, or doing nothing, changes nothing. If you are serious about changing your financial future, making a difference in your life, believing in something good, please take my invitation to join our member capitalism movement. Sometimes doing nothing is not an option. Moving politically from divide and conquer to power of one is a choice worth making. Our Founders Challenge makes it possible for you. The first step is having a purpose-driven life to climb aboard the autonomous vehicle driven by Small Street. You found the station for information. Climb aboard. It is simply a matter of organizing the many to control the few. Member capitalism, where 1 billion people with $1 share power. Capitalism for the rest of us. Again, this is Coach Tom. Time is valuable. Thanks for your investment. You're awesome.